In this example, we're going to use a quadratic formula to solve. Let's go ahead and read it. It says, a rectangular garden is 5 feet longer than is wide. Its area is 3,900 feet square. What are its dimensions? So let's write down what we know. We know that, the formula for the area of a rectangular garden is A equals the length times the width. So we must know something about A, something about the length, and something about the width. We know that the area is this. And we know that the rectangular garden is 5 feet longer. So we know that the length is 5 feet longer than whatever the width it is. So meaning we do not know the width. So 5 feet longer will be x plus 5. It is easier to always find what is it that you don't know, because based on what you don't know, you'll build the other expressions, such as x plus 5. Now we're going to substitute all the information we know into our formula. So we have the 3,900, which equals to the length times the width. Let's go ahead and simplify this a little bit. So x times x gives you x squared. X times 5 gives you 5x, because I did distribution. Now I'm going to set it equal to 0, so it looks a little bit more like a quadratic. So I have 0 equals x squared plus 5x minus 3,900. So if you notice, this is in quadratic form, which is 8x squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Oops. I'm going to use a quadratic formula to solve. Which is this. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a and c divided by 2a. So my a is 1, my b is 5, and my c is a 3,900. Now I'm going to substitute all the values I know into the formula. Be careful with your negatives. Usually that's where the students make the most mistake. They forget a negative or something like that. And then that will just destroy the whole problem. Pretty sad after doing so much work and then you just boop, forget a negative. All right, so now we're just going to simplify inside the square root. One at a time. I'm going to do the 5 squared first. That gives me 25. Then I'm going to say negative 4 times 1 gives me negative 4 times, talking about the negatives, hopefully you saw that. This guy here is a negative. Oop. I'm saying the negative, and here I go, I missed the negative. Not good. Times negative 3,900. You certainly do not want to forget that. Then we're going to add this plus 5, 6, 15,600. Divided by 2 times 1 is 2. Now we're going to go ahead and add the 25 to that 15,600. Just so it looks better in our process of simplifying inside the square root. All right, so we need to find both of our values for x. So we're going to have x equals -5 plus the square root of this big number over here, all the way divided by 2. And we're also going to have x equals -5 minus the square root of 15625 divided by 2. So let's do this. My shoulders are hurting for some reason. All right, so I'm doing -5 plus the square root of 15,625. And then I'm going to take that and divide it by 2. That gives me a really nice number of 60. And then I'm going to do the same for the bottom one. And then I divide it by 2. And that gives me a also nice number of -65. Now, we're talking about an application, and it's talking about the measurement, right? We cannot have a negative. So we cancel that. Now we go back to a problem. And here we have the two expressions. So we found that the width is 60 and the length is 5 more than the width, which will be 65. All right. So there we go. We solved this application using the quadratic formula.